So this morning we're going to talk about detox. I really enjoyed your guys' questions, and this has been really fun to pick back up and start doing. So if you follow Inspire Health by Jen on Instagram and Facebook, you'll be able to catch the replays, or you'll be able to see the lives on Instagram. And then also, if you want to subscribe and get all updates, videos, blog posts, educational series specials, you can go to my website, inspirehealthbyjen.com, and then a subscription box will pop up once you've been on the website for a few seconds. So we'll go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to talk about detox. I had a lot of questions from you guys over the last day, the night before, the day before. I always put up that I'm going to go live and ask for your guys' questions. So if you have any, keep them coming. But signs and symptoms of detox. So what is detox? It's not just a woo-woo, elusive term that we always hear about, read about on taglines and on blogs. It's actually a real thing. So when you start to make a change for your body and to get healthier, we all have levels of inflammation and layers. And it can be a little change. So you can start drinking more water or exercising. You can take gluten and dairy out of your diet. You can bring in a lot of living foods. You can start taking an herbal supplement. These are all things, juicing especially, that will cause detox. So signs and symptoms, you might notice if those are the interventions that you're bringing into your plan. It could just be one, like drinking more water and starting to work out. You might notice that you're tired, or you might get some different eruptions on your skin. You might notice that you start to have like some aches and pains in your joints. You're not really sure, and this is started after you started doing something that was healthy. So it's kind of counterintuitive. A lot of people can think that they can be, if it's a food, that they're allergic to the food, the healing food, like a fruit or a vegetable, or the herbal supplement, it might not be benefiting them. But think about the one thing that you brought in and if you're experiencing a reaction. So there are a lot of signs and symptoms. My suggestions are to look at what you just brought in, and are you going too fast, are you going too slow, and what are some things that you can do to change your detox reaction. So for me, when I started, the first thing I did to heal my body is I eliminated gluten and dairy, and I didn't have too much like of a herx or a detox reaction. When I started bringing in more fruit, I started breaking out a little bit. And that was normal, because any acne on your face, and I think women and men, but especially women, we kind of freak out whenever we get some acne and we've brought in something healthy into our lifestyle. And acne exists because of bacteria being brought up through the lymph system, and it usually starts in our gut. So you have to think about, and if you're breaking out because you spent the weekend, eating chips and queso and margaritas, it's probably not a detox breakout. But if you've been juicing for 3 days and doing lemon water and saunas and you start breaking out, then that is your body actually kicking up toxins that get stored deep within the layers of our cells and in our organs, and that's coming out. So you have to think about and kind of be your own detox detective with why you're experiencing the symptoms that you're experiencing. So really, if you're making a change for your health, you can decide how fast or how slow you want to go. Some people ask, well, how long does it take when you're detoxing to start to notice improvements? It varies on the person. We're all so different. We all have different levels of toxins in our body, heavy metals, viruses, bacteria, all of it. And for some people, we experience really negative reactions. I was one of them. When I started juicing, my face just erupted in eczema, and all of the toxins that were stored really deep in my liver and in my organs started coming out. And I've had other negative detox reactions. That was actually something when I started juicing, that I looked worse on the outside than I felt on the inside. I was really sick, but once I started bringing in living foods, things started to change. I've also been on protocols and supplements that have caused a lot of negative pain and would make me feel really sick to my stomach. My joints would hurt. I'd be very, very tired, and I didn't notice any forward momentum in those programs. So you have to think about what you're doing. Detox, yes, it can look like one step backwards, but over time you should see a pattern that you're moving forward towards your goal. So it can look like this. You can be up and down some days in bed, some days really tired, but you should see forward progression, or what you're doing probably isn't working for you. So, and you decide how fast you want to go. You might be someone who wants to start really small, and you might want to start with exercise, walking, and sweating, and that will really kick up and move things in your body if you've been sedentary. Or if you eat very clean, you don't have gluten in your diet, you don't have dairy in your diet, you're already eating paleo, you might look at lowering the fats and proteins in your diet so that your blood viscosity can lower and that your blood can have more oxygen and things can move more freely and be less of a burden on your kidneys and liver. So what happens is when all these toxins start stirring up, our detox pathways, they get clogged up. They can only handle so much. So when we make big drastic changes, sometimes we'll experience negative reactions, and that can be the skin problems we notice, or the fatigue, or the different digestive disturbances that you might just be flushing out. So you decide how fast you want to go, how slow you want to go. And my recommendations are to start small, to pick one thing that you want to do. So like lemon water, more living foods, and exercise. Or you can go all the way as detoxing. I mean, you can do a juice fast, you can do a water fast. Some people do dry fast. I don't recommend it for electrolyte reasons, but if that's something that you're interested in, I work with a really skilled and knowledgeable practitioner who will monitor you and your vital signs and possibly some other measures throughout that fast. So there's different ends of the spectrum, and you just pick where you would want to start and start to detox. So I think the easiest way is to wake up in the morning and start off with some living water, put some lemon or lime or fruit in your water, get hydration into your body. That will help overnight. Your body kicked up a lot of different debris and toxins out of your digestive tract, and it wants to get it out. So just help that body further eliminate in the morning, and then bring in something living that will keep your energy up and your blood really thin so that you can finish detoxing for the day what you just worked out overnight. And then look for those signs and symptoms. If you're not feeling well, if you're doing a ton of juicing and a ton of living foods, maybe you need to do something at night, like a lot of cooked sweet potatoes and a stir fry, and slow down that detox. Or maybe you need to take a day off from the exercise and the sauna and lower down your juices for a little bit until you can work up to that point that is sustainable. If you're someone who likes to just go push your limits and go as fast as you can, that was a lot of the same question kept coming up. How long does it take to notice improvements when you're detoxing? Well, you can go as fast as you want to go and as fast as you're comfortable with. So the more living foods you bring in, the more juicing you're doing. If you're trying to target specific conditions in your body and you're using herbal remedies, so upping those doses, but work with a practitioner on that. And then you can really push your body pretty far, pretty fast. But the biggest thing to think is, how are my organs doing? Are your kidneys and your liver keeping up with the load that is coming out? So you'll notice signs and symptoms. Your practitioner you're working with will be able to help you decide if this is something manageable. And bottom line, if you need to be functioning in the days that you're working or you're in school or you're taking care of kids and you can't, that might be a sign that you need to slow down, or maybe you need to be more aggressive on the days that you can lay around and be in bed. But over time, you should see a forward progression, and you should be getting better and not getting worse. So that's how you would know, because a lot of people can take on, they're doing really heavy hitting supplements and different protocols and putting things in their body that are to detox us, that our body was not created. It can even be different enemas and things that you're not even ingesting orally. But they can overburden you and be really toxic and harmful in the GI system. So use discretion in what you're putting in your body, and think about, am I getting better? Is it a slow forward progression, or am I just kind of going in circles, doing protocols and dumping things in my body to detox me, but that aren't working. But bottom line, your food can detox you, and your sweat. So those are the biggest things to think about in detoxing. And we have certain xenobiotics in our body that can only be excreted through sweat. So if you're very chronically ill and you can't even get out of bed, I understand sweating is probably not an option for you. I would start with the foods And I would start with juicing and living foods, but maybe even a hot bath. You can work up, you can move your circulation, move your blood throughout your body, and start sweating through a hot bath. So that's something to think about too. And then if you have more energy, more stamina, going through the neighborhood for a walk or going to a sauna, hot yoga. If you have an able body to do hot yoga, I can't recommend it enough. It's the best thing to do, especially in the morning. Before you eat, I do it fasted. I just have some water with me. So to get things moving, get your blood oxygenated, because pathogens can't survive in an oxygenated environment in your blood. So just take away a couple tips and you can start detoxing your body. And then don't lose hope, because your body can heal and detox can last a long time. I was sick for 5 to 6 months, not really able to work or do a whole lot, and eczema all over my face, and I felt really crummy and my mood was pretty miserable. But something inside of me, just this little spirit was like, you're gonna heal, you can keep going. So please know that your body and the foods that you're eating, you have everything you need to heal your body. And then what you're telling yourself every day. So yes, your body can heal, and yes, it's going to take time. So surround yourself with a community that believes in you. And I know that's hard to find, but through this Inspire Health by Jen page, there's a lot of like-minded people on here that they've been through it, they're going through it, and they know that you can too. So don't lose hope and sight of the goal if you're trying to detox your body, because it is so worth it. If it takes you 2 years to get rid of the symptoms that you're dealing with and go where you want to go, those 2 years are going to be worth it, and you're going to learn so much in those 2 years. You're going to come out a better person, a stronger person with a healthier body, and then you're going to be able to help others. So detox, it can start really small, it can get into something really big, bigger than you, and it will change your life. So thank you for your questions, and if you are going through the detox, stay with it, it'll pay off, I promise.